Welcome back to Fresh Outlook, everybody. I'm Logan Crawford. Parliamentary elections are set to take place in Turkey in just a matter of hours. And while the president's name is not on the ballot, we will take a look at how the power shift could help President Erdogan essentially change the Constitution. I'm joined by the Fresh Outlook think tank. Joining us live via Skype is İlhan Taner, a journalist based in Istanbul, Dr. Bart Rossi, a political psychologist, Dr. Jackie Guzda, a media professor at Western Connecticut State University, and my friend Mustafa Tablani, a journalist and producer here at Ebru as well. This is a big election, and it could be decided by minority voters. Talk to me a little bit what's going to happen in the parliamentary vote.
Well, there is a very high, the AKP never had very high votes, but they had a big majority in the parliament because the Kurdish party, HDP, wasn't represented, and there was just big discussions about this. They had to have 10% of the votes in order to be represented in the parliament, and AKP was saying that we're gonna lift this, but they never did. So right now it serves them very well. So, but now with everything going on, the pro-Kurdish party had 6%, 8%. Now they are pushing to 10. And if they get inside the parliament, the AKP, even if they have the majority, they will not be the ruling party anymore.
They won't be the AKP will not be the ruling party.
They may lose the government through coalition, or they may have to make a coalition just like in Israel or other countries.
Now, is that an outside chance, or is that likely to happen, or likely not to happen?
It's very, very likely to happen, and I think it's going to happen. I think the HDP, the Kurdish party, is going to go over 10%, and AKP is going to lose lots of seats, and they will not have enough vote of confidence to form a entirely AKP government. They have to hire some parliament members from other parties.
Okay, let's turn to İlhan Taner, joining us from Istanbul via Skype. I don't know if you were able to hear Mustafa in the studio, İlhan, but he's talking about the AKP losing its majority in the parliament in Turkey. Do you agree with that assessment?
I see it 50-50 chance. I am right now in Istanbul. I'm based in Washington, but I came to Istanbul for the elections. And the people I am with at the moment, it is like a couple of them think that AKP is gonna again get about 45%, and other couple of them think that the pro-Kurdish party is going to go over 10% threshold. And that means that basically AKP government is going to be most likely election is going to bring about a coalition government. So I think there is a real chance for the first time after 12 years that Turkey may have a coalition government. And that means that first of all, that means that Erdogan's dreams will be crashed. Erdogan will not have that kind of majority in the parliament to overhaul the constitution, to change the whole system as a presidential system. I think that's one of the reasons that the President Erdogan became more and more angrier in recent days. He has been slamming from international media to homosexuals, to Kurds, to any kind of segments, all levies you can think of. That shows that kind of a desperation that the President Erdogan is. And one more point I would like to make is that the constitutionally president is above politics. He is not on the ballot box. He is not running for any kind of office. Yet we see him campaigning 2 or 3 places every day, using every kind of state institutions, using mayors and governors.
So he's supposed to be
80 billion. He is breaching constitution every single day, and this must cost something to to institutions of this country. For better or worse, this country has been trying to build up for the since the 1950s.
And Dr. Bart, this begs the question, even if Erdogan does not get his majority in parliament, will he proceed and do what he pleases anyway, because that's what he seems to be doing now? I mean, why suddenly is he looking for a rule of law to follow? He's not following the rule of law now. The Constitution hasn't been changed. He's supposed to have a apolitical ceremonial post, and every day he asserts his authority more and more.
Well, that's a very good point, because this could be something where we have a personality and now we have a change, really. And I see this election as really being a dynamic one, where a lot of folks are energized. We talked about the minority groups. I think they're all going to come out and vote. And I do sense, I'm not an expert on this, but I do sense that people will vote when it's this energized. And then you're going to have this guy with his personality versus a new coalition. That's going to be very interesting.
Jackie, you got to wonder, though, if these will be fair and free elections, if people won't be stopped because they're terrorists, so they can't vote.
That's right, because he's already done that. He's labeled people, he's put them in jail, he's shut media outlets down. And the other rumor, and I have no fact to base this on, but the other rumor that's going around is that he could possibly rig the elections.
Mm-hmm. Right. Now, hopefully he doesn't take off his shirt like Vladimir Putin.
I don't know. Let's check him out first.
Do you think he's becoming like Vladimir Putin? Do you think he's got that kind of nationalistic pride that he's trying to engender? That's
another story that's been out there. He's been following the path of a dictator like Putin, coming from a president who is for the people, and little by little, it's all towards him being in charge of everything.
And Mustafa, you say that resonates with a lot of people, looking back at the greatness of the Ottoman Empire, that a number of people in Turkey would like to return to those glory days when Turkey was a country to be reckoned with.
Yes, that's the classical example that Putin is using glory days of USSR, and Iran is using glory days of Persian Empire, and it's a textbook example. But what is missing is that Ottoman Empire in its glory days was a very inclusive society. Actually, when the Jewish people were persecuted in Spain, they sent they called them, they seek refuge, and it was a very inclusive society. It was a very just society. Of course, there was a king, sultan of central power, etc., but it was very open to science and technology, etc., which is opposite to what we see now, and he's contradicting even to himself at this point.
Is Erdogan replacing Ataturk as the most powerful modern leader?
In a way, he likes to imitate him, but he likes to also show more conservative Ottoman days to his base. But I think, wants to mimic him in a way that strong person, strong one-man states. One man says and one man does. But he's not doing what Ataturk is doing, but he wants to have this kind of image. He's using those images, Ottoman images of Ataturk. Anything that suits his power, he uses that image to consolidate his power.
But that's a great point, because today we're in an electronic age. We can go back in time and look at things, but we're in a different world today, and people want to say something today. The Turkish people want to rise up and say things, and I think that's making a big difference in this election.
Yeah, Dr. Bart's right. He is not going to be stronger than Twitter and YouTube and the entire social media networks.
No.
Unless he pulls the plug, and he has.
But he's limited to his country.
Right.
See? So people can always get that information. We are living in a new time, and I don't think he gets that.
No.
So you think he's a little bit out of touch?
Yes, I mean, what Turkey has, or Erdogan has, as a construction business and government contracts. That's how he funds his media outlets. So he gives government contracts, and those guys just make donations or just give advertisement to the media, and that's how he makes his media empire going on. But he has nothing in the international realm. I mean, he has nothing to use. He doesn't invest in electronics. He doesn't invest in science, technology, and good partnership. He just destroys the good partnership with EU. He is destroying the good partnership with NATO, and he calls it lonely at the higher moral ground. I don't know what
He should come over to Jersey City. He could maybe.
He wouldn't find any moral higher ground there. I want to thank Mustafa Tablani for joining us here today, and also Tanil Inher, Ilhan Tanir, joining us from Istanbul today. He put his well-being at risk by speaking out today, and we appreciate that. And I want the rest of the Ebru think tank will be here when we come back. And we're going to talk about hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst when it comes to disasters after this.